The words that have shaped me, even though situations have dissolved and faded, are quite typically those I never thought that I would have to hear. She smiled. But the money in my hand and said, sometimes it's the small things you miss, so cliche, yet as I stood, unable to decide between Isabel Carmody or Anne McCaffrey, the reality of the options that I held in these charcoaled hands became all the more vivid. Her words spoke of alarms smoldered in corridors of soot and confusion as I stumbled towards those flames which engulfed childhoods and left permanent lacquers of burnt plastic across my spine, that kindness, which recognized that a book can provide an escape when trapped is all that you can think to feel, brought me a clean slate at a time when I was in no state to provide one for myself. And years later, I received another gift. Can you tell me a beautiful reason why a house should burn? I looked at her and felt her pull inside me those ugly doubts that I had held within me. She wanted them, and it was so refreshing to oblige, so I wound back through the years, recognizing with each unwanted twist that I had rocked against, shook loose the charcoal that coated my innards. I wanted a better response. Something poignant, but this was all that I could say, and my eyes did not leave hers as I explained each slow revolution of self that occurred alongside that disintegration. And so this new stranger summed up me as rising from the ashes, and yet I did not want to be a phoenix, although constantly changing. There are only two states, and my mind longed to break from the external expectations of others, the static nature of such perceptions, caging you, forcing you. I remember the first time someone told me that they had a thing for redheads, and I just wondered how such words sounded in their minds. The reduction of self a constant throughout life. I cannot forget when I was 14, overhearing a group of men express a desire to fuck those titties, and burned behind my eyes is the anger of my brothers, even though it was my cheeks that were scarlet with shame. I don't want to be a fantasy. I said it as an apology because somehow he thought it was a compliment that I would desire to be relegated to the world of fiction, a character without agency, so few lines, my sole purpose to attract you. I apologize for my desire to be real, and the reality of that cut me right across these palms, those lines forcing themselves in a little deeper, etching their way into my lifeline, no longer a crevice. It is now a canyon of the words that I never thought I would have to hear, and as I continue to carve against these walls, each phrase that defines the role I inhabit, this external game becomes a little bit easier. Moments link like splayed fingers of so many hands, and each voice mingles with those before until it creates a chorus that drowns out those individual words and creates the hum of experience that we all are. What is a beautiful reason for anything? This.